this. Now you can see that it's a favourite because look at that, it is pretty disgusting, that piece of paper. I have a new recipe book that is waiting for me. The one I had for 40 years didn't survive, and that was really sad because Gil had some lovely recipes. But it's a whole new journey of finding lots of new ones, so I wouldn't have probably looked for them. Not actually really missing out, I guess. I think it was just the history of it. Okay, so I need, see if I can remember this by heart. Don't you? There's still enough in there, I think. Salt and cayenne pepper. If I get these right, you'll know how many times I make this recipe. It's a favourite in the house. So, chicken thighs, garlic. Of course we want garlic. Let's see what I forget. Good. What have we got? Wow, okay, that's all I'm used by day. So I've got the chicken, of course. Then we want lemon. Some very sad little lemons in here. Got a couple of little dried up ones. They're not dried up, they're just getting very old. You can see that they're quite old. So, yogurt, lemon juice, turmeric is that one, masala is this one then. Oh no, that one. Chili. That's the new one there. So I did forget one. So I'll just leave that there in case we need it. And we want, we did want that. Come in. Here we go. There, I mucked it up. So 35 minutes of 4, so about 4:30 those should be ready. Now I'll show you what I would do below if somebody could think about it, just for a minute. So I want a tablespoon of ginger, so we want that back down. So a tablespoon of grated ginger. Keep that there in case, but I think we're finished with it. So that's our ginger. Now, half a cup I think it was, wasn't it? I've already used the half cup. Half a cup of plain. teaspoon. Now what I would like more than anything in the world, if someone could get smart enough, teaspoon table, teaspoon. For the measuring spoons that are standard size, fitted, at least a half, just a half teaspoon, because a half teaspoon is used quite a bit, but it's not to be, oh no, the full teaspoon, sorry. The half one's not a problem. So what I might do is it's 1 teaspoon, so I've got half. But it would just be so much easier. So I have like short, flat bottles. Okay, that's one. They could still stack and fine. You're just about done, aren't you? Yeah, another teaspoon there, too much. So that's 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Then we want 2 teaspoons of garam masala, which is this one. So we want 2 spoons. Oh, yeah, we do need that one. And this goes. That's one. So you're empty. 2 teaspoons. I only got half of that in, it was supposed to be 2, wasn't it? Oh, a little bit more won't hurt. I'll just put a little bit in case we've already had it. That one. Half a teaspoon of, actually, in those tomatoes, I'll do the cone. What do I want a bit? 1 teaspoon. So it's saying it wants chili or black pepper. So we want 1 teaspoon of that. Oops. That's alright, I was very generous. So that's, and now that we haven't got our chili yet, have we? So it's half a teaspoon. So we'll put all those back because we're done with those. Check these. Now, in this box that we were given, there were some beautiful cherries. Other people call them chilies, actually. Did it not have garlic powder? Oh yeah, garlic. I'm going to say, can't be cooking with no garlic, can we? So they asked for a teaspoon of chili, and these were in the box that we were given. There's a whole huge box full of them. So we just took a few. We've got a chili bush out the back. But we only have 1 chili left on it at the moment because I keep picking them as quick as they grow. Ours don't usually get to be this big. So, oh gee, that's under the spoon. I don't want all the loops. Oh gosh, you probably find this terribly boring. I think I might probably have to speed it up a bit, hey? So now we've got the chilies. I'll see how much we get from this one. and scrape the insides out. I'm thinking that would be a teaspoon. I don't think they're as strong as ours. If I'm cutting up ours and I breathe over them, it takes my breath away and makes me start coughing. I don't know a lot about chilies, but I'm thinking maybe because it's got so big. I don't know. I thought the little ones are fiery. I don't know about the big ones. I don't know. I just don't know. What I do know I'm going to do, because I've forgotten they were there, it says you that we lift the lid on our soup and we'll throw a chilli in there too. Why not, she said. Why not indeed? The nickname for this slow cooker, the cauldron. So I come to dinner any time. So we're out the front the other day, we're doing the pots. I did a little video walk around and we're still out the front when the kids came home from school. So they've come over and run up to the portable ensuite, which they think is an absolute hoot. So it's something new for them. So they're making little games up and going up, and they're not actually going inside. But I think it's the kiddie equivalent of the jail. So anyway, they come over and Graham's getting the watering system back in place, making sure all the sprinklers were working, and because we have an automatic watering system, it's time to come on whenever it's time to come on. And Graham was there fiddling with that, so he had one of the little nozzles that he was fixing up. There you go. This one got me. Louis, be quiet, please. So anyway, Graham, I had to come up to say hello to him, and Graham starts like flicking a little bit of water at him. Not a much, just a little sprinkle at him. And he turned around and he looked at Graham and he said, "Stop doing that. You're the grown-up here. No, you're the adult here. You're the adult." And that was it. Until that kid comes out with it. He comes out with him. And there was something else that just had me laughing my head off. I just couldn't stop laughing, and I thought, oh, I've got to tell you about that one. And do you think I can remember it? I'm most annoyed with myself. It's pretty funny. Because you've got to laugh at life, don't you? You really seriously just have to laugh at life. It was really lovely round at the disco last night. There were more little kids, younger kids. There, I don't think that the teenagers or the I'm too cool mob turned up. It would have been brilliant if they had it, because it was just a good time. And they're sort of like, we want something for the little ones, absolutely. But the bigger kids that are in that age group where there isn't really anywhere they can go, but they need something, obviously. So that would have been really good if they had thought that was a cool place to hang out. So it was a good night. A lot of people worked hard, and there was a DJ there. Yeah, it was just really nice. The kids were it was an 80s theme, and I'm like, oh, if I don't see some tartan, I'm just going to break down and cry. Not that I never liked them. I was too old anyway for pop music. by then, but the Bay City Rollers, who really, sorry Bay City Rollers, but you just didn't do it for me. Norma Tartan, remember Tartan? I said, if I don't see at least one person come along dressed up in tartan, I'm just going to be gutted. And there was one. One adult. Just the one. But that's all I needed. Just needed to know that, you know, time and history is reflecting correctly. Oh, no. They were really poppy, weren't they, the Bay City Rollers? I couldn't even name a song they sang, and then everyone's getting around with the fluoro and little bum packs and leg warmers, and everybody's psychedelic, and I'm like, yeah, I can live with that. And some of the music, I've gone, oh, that's right, forgot about that one. I realised there was actually some pretty decent music in the 80s. There was David Gates and Bread, love him. I believe he was 80s. Yeah, early 80s. David Gates and Bread. And did anybody know who Dr. Hook is? Living Next Door to Alice. There's been a couple of parodies made about that song. They're very rude, but yeah, I've got to tell you, they are funny, really. You can't afford to get too upset about something, can you? I think we need to pick the battles, pick the hill we're going to die on. What else did I get? There was Footloose, of course. What I didn't hear Patrick Swayze's Dirty Dancing one. I don't know, I can't remember what it is. I know he was a phenomenal dancer. And just a really nice person, apparently. Just a really nice person. That's about the extent of my knowledge. And then he got a particular nasty cancer. Some of this garlic lately has really been not that good. Starting to just get too big and just dry out. And so because of that, I'll just add a bit more. I was going to put that one in too, but it might just drown everything out. So we've got that. So this isn't for dinner. This is another one. This is the marinade, and it's got to sit overnight. So I cut the chicken up, and then it's got to sit. So with all this cooking I'm doing today, you're going to laugh your head off when I tell you Graham's going to cook us a toasted sandwich tonight. And we're going to eat it in the lounge room. Shock and horror. And watch the football. Crazy night out, right? We're normally going out Saturday nights, but I've been getting bookings at the theatre for earlier in the week. Well, a couple of them that we're going to, that was the only time available. They're only going to be there in an evening. And we've sort of like freed the weekends up. But I also knew that this renovation was coming up, and I didn't want too much to be going on through this period of time for obvious reasons. And it's worked out. I've done really well. I was like, we're happy sitting home. I mean, we love going to the theatre and going out for dinner, don't get me wrong. But because we do that quite a bit, we're very lucky to do that. We're quite happy when we're at home. We're quite happy when we're home, or we enjoy ourselves when we go out. Same with holidays. We love going on holiday and having a look at different places. And compared to some people, we've barely left the house for a holiday. Compared to others, we've had a massive amount. So it only matters on what it is for us, isn't it? And we love to go, but by gee, we don't have a problem staying home either. I think we figured that out from COVID. It's like, I really do think that we realised just how much we like being home. Okay, so we're getting close. There's a noisy bit in there. Okay, what's next? I'll chop that up a little bit. Okay, have I got it all? Let's see. Yogurt, lemon juice, 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. Ginger, garlic. Right, we just need the chicken now, but what we're going to do, we're going to blend this all up together. So I've got this from NutriBullet. This is one of the things in the kitchen. Sorry, making so much noise. This is very well used, this. I've broken, well, I didn't really break it, I think it just wore out. I've worn out the big one, so this is the small thing, the dish cup that you put your things into. So this was the small of the two, and the big one, just the lugs, it just simply wore off. It just was it's so much used, because I use this to make my juice, and that's a workout for both of us, getting my juice done. I might bring you along the ride on that one. I don't know if you're interested in watching me cook, or whether I was like watching paint dry. Either way, I'm doing it. This is what I would be doing regardless to whether or not I was making a video. This is me. This is all a part of what makes up my life. Now, if I pause, I can't pause that video. So what I'll do is I'll just put that in there and swish it around just to get all the last little bit out. There we go. That's got it. Rather than pausing it just cuts out, so I will just keep going, and then I'll do some pretty good editing. So we put this in here, so we've got all our marinade. This constitutes our marinade. So I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to stop talking now because I'm going to have to delete. So now, how much chicken do they say? I never take much notice of it anyway. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? They say 750. So they say 750 grams of actually, I don't know where that cloth has been. You know what I mean. Rinse both them out, so that's right. It's only the marinade. So I've got chicken thighs. So I just get them out and I go, how much is enough? tend to like, because the marinade actually goes a long way, I like to do enough so that we get at least 3 meals out of this, because this is a good one to pop in the freezer for when you just can't be bothered cooking, or you get home late, or whatever, doesn't matter what the reason. So I might leave, I'll see how much that cuts on, and we'll go from there. So the pack was, this before, I've got everything weight, 1.5. So it was 1.5 kilos, and they're saying 170, 1.5. Okay then, well that's okay. Okay, what we've got here is we've got all our chicken we just cooked. I've taken the breadboard off and scrubbed it down, and the knife as well, because anytime I cut a protein, I always scrub the boards. Breadboards these days, I believe, are sort of like right up there with the plague, but I don't seem to have ever had any trouble. Follow a few basic common sense guidelines, and I think you can get food poisoning from just about anything. But that's just my opinion. If it keeps everybody safe, especially in commercial cooking, I think everything they can do in commercial cooking is a good thing. But I know my routine and what I do. So that was the, oh no, not now. I thought they were going to start rumbling. So we've mixed that up. Now what happens with this, now it sits for 24 hours in the fridge, and then you cook it off tomorrow with some cream. I think it's just cream. Here it is here. Passata, tomato passata, a cup of cream, and 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of butter. That's to cook the chicken, but I find I don't really use that much, because as there's a lot of liquid with this, you drain them, you don't put all this marinade in with that. But we'll have a look at that. I'm done for today. There are more things I would have liked to have got done, but tomorrow's another day, and if I don't stop, I'm going to be in all sorts of trouble. The one thing we'll finish off for today is the soup. So I've had them on a simmer for over half an hour actually, and they will go into our soup now. And I'll get that all nicely stirred in. Looks like I've washed everything on there. Here it is here. So I'm just off to the side, and I'm putting the peas, the mix, lentils, peas, and what else did I say? Barley. Yeah, I can see the barley, of course. Yeah, so that's all gone into our soup mixture. I might just get a tablespoon. We're going to do a taste test in case something disastrous has happened. So I've just taken out a little bit of broth on a spoon, and I'll give that a taste, and we'll see how we went. Well, I have to say, an hour and a half of cooking, and it's already tasting absolutely brilliant. Just got a cheeky little burn at the back of the throat, not really, just a bit of warmth from the chilli. So it's probably a good thing I didn't put 2 in there. So that soup is going to be wholesome and yummy and very warming. Just made up a big, huge family size pot for it. Don't ask why. I do actually have a soup. I do have a soup maker, and I bought it after the floods, so we're going back 11 years. And it's got a little like blender like this, but it's all in one. It's all in. So you put your soup in there, and then you cook it, and then when it's done, you hit a little button and the little thing cuts it all up for you. Fantastic idea. The problem is when I cook soups, I've got like a slow cooker. I've got 2 litres in that pot. When I do a pumpkin, I do half, 3/4 of a pumpkin. So the little soup maker would be really good and excellent for someone like after dinner, I guess. Chop, or while you're doing dinner, chop up some veggies, chop up whatever you want to make, have it cook, and then you can just use the chopper and you'd have tomorrow's lunch ready for you. I don't do soups like that. I think if I'm going to cut vegetables up, and I love to cut them, I never know when to stop. I'm just going to make a great big batch of soup and put some in the freezer for, it's kind of what we refer to as our takeaway. And when we're having, because we eat out, so when we are not going out to dinner, we don't tend to eat very much takeaway at all. So when we say we're going to have takeaway dinner, it's whatever's in the freezer that's been cooked. But that's just us, it's just a preference. There's nothing wrong with takeaway food occasionally. I'm not the takeaway food police. So on that note, thank you for spending time in the kitchen. I hope that this is going to be a setup that's going to work more and more for me. I've got just this urge to be sewing again. I haven't sewn for a considerable amount of time, and I believe I'm missing it. I think it's got to be coming up on 18 months since I've sat in front of my sewing machines, and that's just not heard of. So you can join me while I'm doing some sewing with this setup. Let's hope it worked. Okay, from me to you, that's all for now. Please be kind to yourself and be kind to the person standing next to you. See you next time.